All right, you guys, we are going to do awkward angle. We're going to do a couple prong collar intros on a few different dogs, or a few different prong collar intros on a few different dogs. And our first one is going to be Gus. He's never had a prong collar on before, but I want to have him stop pulling as much and have our leash conversation a little bit more fluent. So we're gonna go ahead and size this prong collar to him. We have another video on sizing, or proper size and fit for a prong collar. This is his perfect size, so we're just gonna go for it. That was lucky. So basically I'm going to hook his leash to his prong collar, and we're just gonna get started, because as soon as this leash is on, the pressure is going to start. So right now, basically, we are just introducing him to the pressure of the prong collar. It's super minimal pressure, and the only way that he's going to put more pressure on it accidentally would be if he's pulling against it. But we're going to do our best to not let that happen. Alrighty, so at first it's super gentle, but I will walk you through it as I'm doing it. So here's our first amount of pressure. Pressure, good. Pressure, good. Pressure, good. Pressure, good. Pressure, good boy. Good. Oh, we're all hooked up. Good boy. Pressure there. Good. Huh? And the bottom of the laundry? Pressure. Good. Pressure. Oh, goody Pete. Pressure. Wasn't paying attention. Pressure. Good. Pressure. Good boy. Good. Pressure. Good. So you can't really hear me because the wind's going and the roosters and all the things, but basically all I'm doing is adding pressure to this collar and letting him understand how to turn that pressure off, so he moves into it. We've had a little bit of this conversation just from his regular collar and us kind of working on this. So here I'm going to hold up, ask him to sit, or he did it already. Good boy. And then as soon as he complies, whether it's he's over here and I'm asking for the pressure this way, as soon as he complies, that pressure comes off. So in our operant conditioning quadrant, this is negative reinforcement, which go watch a video on operant conditioning and understand that, because negative and positive is not good or bad, it's adding or subtracting something. So we're we're taking away the pressure. We have to add it to begin with, but don't get confused. We're taking away the pressure in order for him to do the desired behavior. So it's just like the dinging in your car for the seatbelt. Ding, 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 ding. Put your seatbelt on, that annoying dinging goes away. So it's the same idea. This is negative reinforcement. So here, I love you. All right, drive safely. So those little moments right there, if he barks at that, that's more of a little pop. So the communication on your prong collar is going to be pressure and then pops. Pops are a little bit snappier jerking motion. It's not a pull, it's just a very snap, or a very snappy situation. So if anyone out there has ever cracked a whip, and you know how to do that, it's a very strategic move to be able to actually make that sound, the whip or the cracking noise. So it's a very pop and release very quickly. And so here is a little one. It's just a very quick little jerk. It's more of a snap them out of it kind of thing. So anyway, that's our hey, pay attention. The pressure is our regular conversation. So the pressure isn't a punishment. It's negative reinforcement. It's not, the pop is more of a positive punisher, which those are the two most confusing in the whole spectrum of operant conditioning. But there's positive punishment, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. So look up a video on that. It's very easy to follow once you watch that video. Not my video, you can just Google or YouTube operant conditioning. So I'm gonna quit talking and work the puppy, but this is how we start them out. So what I'll start doing is slowly bringing that leash conversation in tighter, and once we've done our little prong collar dance, introducing them to that pressure, and then we start asking for sits and doing a little bit more pressure work. So right now we're finding excuses to put the pressure on the collar. So go find a distraction. If your dog's walking perfectly next to you and your leash is loose, great, that is the goal. But right now we're trying to teach them the conversation. So right now we really want to find excuses to put that pressure on in order to teach them. So here we go. Pressure here. Just 2 fingers, good, and release as soon as he comes into it. Pressure, good. Pressure, good. I can stop him and then ask him for that sit. He's in a down, I can move him this way. Put that pressure, good. I released for that get up, and I'm gonna add it back on for the moving towards me. Come on, mister. Good. I know. So I'm taking off his regular collar because it was kind of getting caught. Our collar is a little bit loose, which is fine for now. Pressure. He's very goofy. You got stuff on your butt? Leaves? Good. So when he's pulling really hard on that, he might scream. He's also a very sensitive puppy. When he's playing with other puppies, he's always the one screaming. Not that my puppies play very rough, but he does scream about little things. So, like that squeaking thing in the background. TV, no. She's waiting for her turn. We're gonna do a prong collar intro on my little tiny dog. So, anyway, we're gonna keep going. Pressure. Good. Pressure. Good. Pressure. Pressure. Good. Let's go. So what happens with some of these dogs is people will go out and get a prong collar. Some people are very against them, which, here, I'm going to finger in the mouth for no biting. He hasn't done that in a while, but he's very excited right now, so that's why we got that. I'm gonna pull him off as fast for that jumping. So many people, so I'm gonna use a little bit more of a pop for that because he is jumping. That's how we stop jumping, very, very quickly. He is covered in leaves and freaking out about it. So, anyway, on 8 different subjects here. But, lost my train of thought. What were we talking about, Gus? He says, I don't know, lady. I don't know. Gonna have to go back on my video. Oh, so many people will put prong collars on their dogs, go to the store, put one on, and I see them walking down the street with the dog still pulling out in front of them. And they pull less because it's uncomfortable, but if we don't teach this dog to properly understand this conversation on the prong collar, they're not gonna know any different. So they're gonna keep pulling. It's the state of mind doesn't change in them. And so doing these little exercises, teaching them what that conversation actually means is where the value is. It's not the tool that does the training, it's the training that does the training. So I can train this to a dog on basically any tool. I'm not going to tie my hands behind my back, and I'm going to use tools that benefit me and benefit owners, of course, and that's why we use these valuable tools. So something like a prong collar, why do you put it on a tiny puppy doodle? This is actually less damaging to their neck than a flat buckle collar, so most people will go to a harness. The problem with a harness is, for one, it can still choke them if improperly fitted, and for two, it doesn't teach the dog not to pull. So then, if you accidentally drop your leash, there goes your dog because they're still pulling. The other thing that a harness does is it allows the dog to pull more. Harnesses were made for weight pulling dogs and sled dogs. And the reason for that is it goes on the strongest part of their body. So if you have a pulling dog, and I get that we don't want to put pressure on their neck, but if you have a pulling dog and you put a harness on them, they're going to pull you harder, and it's going to be easier for them, get them more amped up, more leash reactive, more all those things. So my solution is to use a tool that's going to teach the dog not to pull, or use a tool that's going to leverage training to teach the dog not to pull. That's the key. It's not the tool that does the training. So we're going to take this little stick away from him because he doesn't need to be chewing on that. So there's a little pop. That was a very quick, like, that's all it is. If he does it again, I'll do it again. It's a bunch of repetition, you guys. But we're gonna keep walking him around. So I'm slowly closing in this gap. But here we go. Good boy. Good. So the release is one of the most important things. Here, I'm gonna ask for that sit. So I'm holding up that pressure. As soon as he sits, that's the release. Good boy. Let's go. Good. So release there. Pressure. Release. Pressure. Release. Pressure. Good. Pressure to get him to slow down. Pressure up to have him sit. Release that pressure. Pressure to move forward. Good. Pressure to have him stop. Pressure to sit. Good. TB. 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 Where is she? She's over there waiting so patiently. Pressure. Good. Pressure. Good. Pressure. Alrighty, we're going to start another video and I'm going to show you how to start your walk after this.